Hello. The case that I decided to use for the week two case study graded activity is the case Bearman versus University of Notre Dame. The case took place in 1983. Actually, it went all the way to the Court of Appeals of Indiana, 3rd District, where in fact the Court of Appeals in Indiana decided to reverse the trial verdict in favor of the Bearmans. Now, the facts of the case here was that Christina Bearman had suffered a broken leg while walking to her vehicle after a Notre Dame football game. A drunk individual had stumbled onto her, fell onto her from behind, and resulted in the injury occurred by Mrs. Bearman. Now, Mrs. Bearman and her husband both were suing the University of Notre Dame in regards to failure to take the proper guidance and action to prevent injury from a third party. The University of Notre Dame actually said that they had no understanding of what was to be happening outside of the stadium. They did not understand the awareness or the abilities of third party people in the idea of drinking alcohol. And so the trial court in the state of Indiana actually ruled in favor of the University of Notre Dame. An appeal was filed by Mr. and Mrs. Bearman to gain some re-examination of the trial. In fact, the Court of Appeals of the 3rd District for the state of Indiana actually reopened the case, and they saw that the facts that the Bearmans had presented were in fact able to have the University of Notre Dame take legal action or take the actions of protecting the patrons of these games from third-party individuals. Mrs. Bearman actually argued the fact that because she was a business invitee to the game, there was a sense of protection or a sense of duty from the university to make certain that the issues that were coming about because of this drunk individual needed to be taken care of. At the time of the injury, there were no ushers or security personnel at the incident, and that is where Mrs. Bearman is really arguing that the University of Notre Dame did not do enough to help to protect her in this situation. The Indiana Court of Appeals actually stated that the University of Notre Dame, even though they do not know specifically that there's going to be any type of danger due to a third party individual, they do understand the awareness of alcoholic beverages being consumed before and during the games, the participation in what are called tailgate activities, according to the Court of Appeals, and there were, of course, alcoholic beverages being consumed in that activity. The Court of Appeals, of course, they reversed the decision of the trial court and ruled in favor of the plaintiff, Mr. and Mrs. Bearman, and awarded the Bearmans damages caused by that injury that was sustained at that football game, thanks to the drunken third party member. Uh, the court also shows that the University of Notre Dame did have some sense of duty to protect the individuals at the game from these third party individuals. And even though, again, they did not feel that they had an understanding of what was taking place during or before the game and the consumption of alcohol, they have to be aware of something like that is going to happen. They're on a college campus. They are at a sporting event where alcoholic beverages are being sold in the stadium and, of course, being consumed outside of the stadium in the parking lot before the game. And so, because of this, the court is now forcing the University of Notre Dame after this case to increase their security, increase their ushers that are patrolling the parking lots, and of course patrolling the stands to make sure that this does not happen again. I feel that this is very, very good in the decision by the Indiana Court of Appeals by making the university more accountable. Even though they may not be aware of the issues that are coming about with the alcoholic beverages being consumed, they have to have an understanding that something like this could possibly happen. That there is going to be some type of injury or some type of incident that could occur because of alcoholic beverages being consumed, and they need to take the recommended advisement and recommended supervision to prevent this from happening again. I feel that this is something that can be taken into consideration in all collegiate activities that are taking place around the country, and even in some aspects, some high school activities where there may be some type of incident, like a fighting or some type of crisis or crowd management issue that needs to be taken care of at the time of the activity or contest. So this case, I think, really sets the precedence for the overall understanding of how these universities and high school athletic directors need to deal with situations that arise, even though they may not be aware of what is taking place.